Hi everyone, welcome in a new episode of Steven's Week, the weekly update on marketing and technology. This week I'm going to talk about the epic battle between Apple and Fortnite. We're going to talk about a new setback for Ant Financial Services, and we're going to talk about the law that makes fighting fake news even more difficult. Enjoy this new episode, everyone. Do you guys remember the fight that there was between Epic Games, the designer of Fortnite, and Apple? Remember that a couple of months ago, Epic Games launched this new in-app payment system where you didn't pay through Apple, but you could pay directly to Epic Games. And they offered their gamers the opportunity to buy weapons and all kind of goodies directly from them at a lower price, but at the same value that you usually get. So there was a double win in their perception. Gamers got a lot of value and they were making more money, and gamers had to pay less. So that was the win. Apple, of course, didn't like it. So Apple decided to shut down the Fortnite, the app, and they went to court. And now this week, there was a conclusion from the legal department. And it was like, sort of in the middle solution. The court decided that the app business model of Apple cannot be touched. So Fortnite cannot set up its own system. They have to make sure that their app gets downloaded through the Apple Store. So that's, let's say, the core of the existence still remains. But then you have the other side. And this is maybe a game changer. It's the conclusion that Fortnite and other apps can now use their own payment methods in apps. So you are not obliged anymore to use the API from Apple to install the payment systems. You can use your own system so that it goes directly to you. Now, this is of course a game changer because, if you know how much money Apple is making from in-app purchases, knowing that this could now go directly to the developers and to the companies behind that, this is a new ballgame. So it was funny to see the results because Apple wasn't happy, but Epic Games was also unhappy. They were like, hey, we wanted more than just this decision. So they're gonna go back to court and we're gonna have more decisions in the next couple of months. But again, this is a piece of evidence where you're starting to see how the core business model of tech giants is under attack from multiple battlefields. And I think in the next couple of years, we're only gonna see more of that the centralized power model is going to get more and more under pressure. Let's talk about Ant Financial Services for a minute. They had a rough ride in the last couple of months. They had this huge IPO plan, the biggest financial services IPO in human history. And then the Chinese government pulled it off. I mean, they said, we're not going to do this and we're going to look into your existence. And this is, of course, as part of what the Chinese government is doing, reducing the power of these tech giants. And now, again, this week, they went back to Ant Financial Services and they said, guys, the business that you have with your microloans and your business loans, that needs to be separated from the payment model. So let's say the brands Huawei and Jabei, they have to create their own app. And they have to do it. I mean, it's been decided by the Chinese government. And of course, the power of the system of Ant Financial Services was that you had the payment engine with Alipay, and all Chinese consumers were paying. They were gathering data. They understood how credit-worthy someone was. And then in the most convenient way, they gave people loans and businesses microloans. Because they know what they were worth based on the data from Alipay. If you split this up in two separate businesses and you cannot connect the data, I mean, the core strength of these loan businesses is completely gone because they don't have access to that data anymore. So what the Chinese government is trying to do here is to make sure that those super apps like Ant Financial Services, Alibaba, Tencent, WeChat, those kind of companies, that their power is being reduced by splitting them up in smaller pieces and smaller parts. And if you disconnect the data from the interface and the AI, I mean, then you have a major problem. And that's what's happening now with Ant Financial Services. It looks like the theme of this weekly video is about the government and technology, because I have another topic about that. And it's a new law that was been voted in Texas and in Brazil. And it's a law basically that will make the fighting against fake news more difficult. Because this law says if someone has an opinion about a political topic, it can be anything, can be COVID related, can be related to elections. If anyone has an opinion, they should have the ability to share that on social networks. And social networks shouldn't get the power just to take those offline if they think that it's not in line with what is appropriate. It's not upon the social networks to decide that. That's a new law in Texas and Brazil. And the crazy thing is, if you look to a country like Brazil, 80% of the people living in Brazil, they are really worried about fake news. In the US, about 70% of the people is worried about fake news. And now both Texas and Brazil make it actually more difficult to fight fake news, because if now you see a topic that is clearly fake news or a post that is clearly wrong and they want to remove it, then they need a court order for that. So can you imagine the administrational burden that they put upon this? So this is a new decision that is setting us back in time, I think. So fighting fake news, which is in my opinion one of the critical challenges for social media, will become more difficult if governments make these kind of decisions. So guys, this was my weekly update. Please share it, like it, tell your friends about it, and keep watching. Enjoy your weekend, and hope to see you again next week for a new episode of Steven's Week. Take care.